Welcome back to Gold Derby. We have an exciting race on our hands for Best Drama Series. We're going to talk today about whether Succession can hold on to its frontrunner status, which it's had for months and months, if not a year. People have been saying Succession is going to win. I'm Marcus James Dixon. I'm here with Daniel Montgomery and Denton Davidson. And Daniel, I'll come to you. Succession only won one category at the Creative Arts, but it was an important one. It won casting. Compare that to Euphoria, which won 5: guest actor, choreography, cinematography, makeup, picture editing. Stranger Things won 5: makeup, music supervision, sound editing, sound mixing, stunt coordination. And Squid Game won 4 for guest actress, production design, visual effects, and stunt performance. But we're not counting Succession out just yet, are we?
No, I'm counting it very much in. I think things lined up very well for Succession. Winning casting, I think it means more when you win for like a second season, especially, or a third season in this case, where most of the show's main cast is already in place. So winning best casting is indication that the voters are really into you. As we saw, Game of Thrones was winning this into its 8th season. Veep won this 3 times, I think, on the comedy side. So I think that's a really good indication. And the stuff that did really well at Creative Arts, I don't think has a chance here. Euphoria doesn't have writing or directing nominations. It's rare that a show wins without one or the other, at least. Stranger Things has no other nominations besides Best Drama Series, sadly. Squid Game did really well, but it had no casting nomination, which could be explained by the fact that it's a Korean series. American voters don't necessarily know how well the show is cast if they don't know like the landscape of performers that are out there. But you can still kind of get how good those actors are for those roles. So like Succession really needed to lose casting for me to question its strength.
And Denton, can you talk a little about the correlation between casting and drama series?
Well, it's not as tight as the comedy series is. We mentioned in another Slugfest that the last 7 years in a row, the comedy casting has gone to the best comedy series. That's not the case in the drama categories. It's sort of been hit or miss. So just because something wins doesn't necessarily mean it's going to win best series. Although I would say this wasn't necessarily an award that Succession was supposed to win. So I'm sticking with Succession for best drama series. For a long time, I thought Squid Game and Severance were both good alternatives. Euphoria obviously did really well at the Creative Arts. And then, Ozark is, on its last leg. Stranger Things did well at the Creative Arts, but when there's so many different alternatives happening, that's when I sort of stay in the safe lane, and that for me is Succession in this category.
Right. I did mention during a previous Slugfest, it was during the live Creative Arts Slugfest, that this is really good news for Succession because, what is second place? We have Euphoria, Stranger Things, and Squid Game all winning lots and lots of awards. So they're kind of fighting it out for what's second place. I couldn't tell you what it is. Maybe it's Squid Game. And then we have Severance too, which won main title design and music composition, 2 important awards. So I think all of that is good news for Succession. If you are the front runner, you want there to be a battle for what is going to come and overtake you possibly. And Ozark didn't win anything. Yellow Jackets didn't win anything. Better Call Saul, my dear Better Call Saul, didn't win anything. Do we have any other thoughts on best drama series before we move on to acting?
It's just interesting that Squid Game missed on casting when they could potentially win more acting awards than any other show.
I wonder if I think Riley had said it was maybe not eligible for casting, and that's why they were nominated. A drama actress, I think Zendaya was already considered, a front runner, but after Euphoria cleaned up over the weekend, is she 100% lock? Who could take her down? Laura Linney, Melanie Linsky, Jodie Comer, Reese Witherspoon, Sandra Oh. Denton, what do you think?
I just want to break in 1 second. I did check, and Squid Game was not on the ballot for casting, actually. So, so I take back everything I said. Squid Game is clearly in second place.
Because if it had been eligible for casting and got nominated for casting,
I probably would have won.
It probably would have won casting.
It might have won, yeah.
For drama actress, I was toying with Melanie Lynskey for a couple weeks. I had Zendaya, and then I was like, let me put Melanie in there. And then I pulled her back out and went back with Zendaya after, Euphoria did so well at the Creative Arts. Coleman Domingo won. Yellow Jackets isn't doing anything, and it probably, so I just expect it to maybe win nothing. And so I have Zendaya back in front, and I might put Laura Linney back in second. I think if anyone's going to upset, it might be her. They just love her, and she does win for every role, right? So this would be the first time she didn't win for one of the roles that she's played. So
I think Yellow Jackets was hurt by not winning casting. The one thing people talked about was the casting on that show, how they had to cast, young actresses to match with the older versions, and that was universally praised. And that category was not in our prediction center, but I probably would have predicted Yellow Jackets to win casting. So the fact that Succession overtook that was really big. Daniel, what do you think for drama actress?
I had Melanie Lynskey for a while. I've switched back to Zendaya, and I'm worried I'm going to regret it because, we saw, it's weird. Sometimes the show gets more support, and you'd think, okay, if she won before, she'll win again now. But we saw with Handmaid's Tale, in its second year, it exploded in nominations. Elizabeth Moss didn't win again. So getting that extra support doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win this. And Yellow Jackets actually has more support than Euphoria did when Zendaya won. So, and Yellow Jackets is the cool show like Euphoria was. It's the show where, the buzzy critical favorite, Melanie Lynskey, who won Critics' Choice, is I could see a lot of people rallying around her. She could be one of those cases of the nomination was the hardest part, and she ends up winning. So I still think it's going to be close between those two. I feel like the bloom is off the rose with Ozark at this point. I think its hope is going to be getting Julia Garner that third, and I'm not even 100% sure that's going to happen. So I've got Zendaya. I've still got Melanie Lynskey, just so close that I might even still switch back.
I will say, if episode submissions matter, which I think they don't anymore, but if they did, Zendaya has the episode of all episodes. She's in every scene. It's the episode where she is on the run from the police and she's trying to quit drugs, and she escapes from her mom's car. It's just scene after scene of breathtaking acting. It's one of the best submissions I've ever seen covering the Emmys. So if she were to lose, I would be pretty shocked.
And Melanie's great, but she doesn't have that roller coaster of emotions that Zendaya has. So if they go with
it's a much subtler performance.
Yeah, if they go with the showiest, then Melanie is gonna have some issues.
So drama actor, this is a category where I did make a switch after Creative Arts. I had Bob Odenkirk for a couple weeks there because of, the final episodes were airing during round 2 voting. He's universally beloved, but, Better Call Saul has never won an Emmy. And I took him out of first place. I put Lee Jung-jae at number 1. The other nominees are Brian Cox and Jeremy Strong from Succession, Adam Scott, Severance, and Jason Bateman, Ozark. Does anyone not have Lee Jung-jae? So Daniel, why do you have him?
I had Brian Cox actually for the longest time, just I felt like, vote splitting didn't hurt Olivia Colman last year, and it didn't hurt Jeremy Strong the year before. So it seemed like Brian Cox was getting more attention for this season. So I'm like, it'll probably be Brian Cox. And then Lee Yu-mi won. And I wasn't sure. I had Harriet Walter winning that race. And then Coleman Domingo won actor. So 4 Succession actors lost in guest actor, 3 Succession actresses lost in guest actress, 2 individual nominees from shows. And Lee Jung-jae, we already know, has the support from the industry because he won the SAG Award. He won the Critics' Choice Award. I honestly did not think, Squid Game is my favorite show of the last year. I honestly didn't think it was going to do as well as it did at Creative Arts, because I'm like, are people still into this show after the sort of initial buzz died down? So I feel a bit more confident in saying Lee Jung-jae now, but I still think probably a four-way race. Like, I would not rule out Cox, Strong, or even Odenkirk at this point.
And Denton, why do you have Lee Jung-jae?
I've always had him just because he won the SAG and the Critics' Choice. And I feel like if anyone else had done that, we wouldn't be questioning it as much as we are for Squid Game. And maybe it's because it's a Korean show, or maybe it's because Succession is such a favorite. But for me, I've just always had him, and I've kept him at number one the whole time. I do think it's a four-person race. I think Adam Scott and Jason Bateman can be probably happy to be nominated. But I wouldn't be surprised to see any of the other four win. Lee Yu-mi just made me more confident. So I for sure won't be changing this before Monday. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, when Lee Yu-mi won a guest actress in a drama, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to accept the fact that Bob Odenkirk is probably not going to win. If he does that, I'll probably stand up and cheer in my pajamas, but he probably won't. So drama supporting actress, Daniel, you kind of mentioned Julia Garner earlier, so I'll come to you first. And the others are Sarah Snook, Ray Seahorn, Jung Ho-yeon, Patricia Arquette, Christina Ricci, Sydney Sweeney, J. Smith Cameron.
I think this is a pretty close three-way race. I think it's about as close as comedy supporting actress. I think it could go to Julia Garner, Jung Ho-yeon, or even still Sarah Snook. Now, Sarah Snook hasn't been able to win anything for Succession. She lost at the SAG Awards. I believe did she lose a Critics' Choice? Or did she win a Critics' Choice? I don't think she won that, but correct me if I'm wrong. But again, you could say the same thing about Olivia Colman for The Crown when Emma Corrin was winning everything, and then Olivia Colman won the Emmy. I think Succession is winning drama series, so it could easily just get a bunch of name check, show check nomination wins like The Crown did last year. We're getting in people like Tobias Menzies to win. So I think she could win. Jung Ho-yeon has the SAG Award, and Squid Game performed really well so far, so she could win. Julia Garner's the two-time defending champ. She hasn't lost for this performance, and she had probably her showiest year, so she could win. So right now I've got Garner just on the momentum of having won before, but I'm not confident.
Yes, Succession won at Critics' Choice for drama supporting actor Kieran Culkin and supporting actress Sarah Snook, but the two lead actors did possibly vote split, and Lee Jung-jae beat them. Denton, what about you? Can Julia Garner win a third? She's never lost for this. She's never lost an Emmy.
She hasn't, but I don't have her winning a third. I have her in second place, and I agree with Daniel. Like, the smart money probably is a three-person race between Julia Garner, Jung Ho-yeon, and Sarah Snook. I think any of the three of them could win, but I do not have smart money. I'm going out on a limb, a far limb, for someone who is respected in the industry on a hot new show that could pull off the jaw dropper. So I'm sticking with my hope diction of Patricia Arquette in Severance. I think if someone can, like I said, pull off a jaw dropper that has the respect of the actors branch and her peers in the industry, it's going to be Patricia Arquette in this particular race.
And, I can't remember back to what our odds were saying, but I don't think we were predicting Patricia Arquette to win for medium or for the act. And she won both. So she overcame the odds, possibly, if I'm remembering correctly, both times. So
I don't know if we even had her getting nominated for Severance in our initial nomination odds. So
right now I'm predicting Julia Garner. When that mid-season finale of Ozark won and when it aired, I thought she was going to win at that moment, and she won our Gold Derby Award for the first time ever. She had never won with us. Our users like Ozark, but they don't love Ozark. So for her to finally win on this final season was very telling to me. But I think if she's going to be upset, it's going to be Jung Ho-yeon, who completely blew everyone away at the SAG Awards. She's a supporting actress on the show, and she beat leads at the SAG Awards because they combine supportings and leads. She was able to beat a lot of important people to win that. And now she's even more famous now, 6 months later or 9 months later. So I wonder if I should make the swap and put Jung at first. I don't know.
She's my second consideration, but I have another Squid Game winning later that we're going to discuss. So I feel a little bad if she's the only Squid Game actor I have
Right.
losing. But
well, speaking of Squid Game, let's move on to drama supporting actor, where there are 2 Squid Games, 3 severances. Oh no, sorry, 2 severances, 3 successions. Right now, I have Kieran Culkin winning this. He did win the Critics' Choice. He hosted SNL this year, which brought him a lot of extra buzz. He is the breakout character, not breakout because it's season 3, but the character that everyone talks about after every episode airs. The other nominees are Young-soo, Matthew McFadden, John Turturro, Nicholas Braun, Billy Crudup, who won this for season 1 of The Morning Show, Christopher Walken, and Park Hae-soo. Daniel, I'll come to you first. Who do you think is winning drama supporting actor?
I've got Kieran Culkin, and I could be surprised, but it's one of those cases where I don't think the vote split's going to hurt him too much, especially because almost everybody else has a vote split issue too. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, and Billy Crudup, I don't see it happening. I just don't see there being as much love for The Morning Show. Even the first season, there wasn't that much love, but in season 2, there was less of it in terms of, even in the acting nominations. So I don't see him repeating, and he's the only one without a co-star up against him. So of the people who have those co-stars, I think Kieran Culkin is the strongest, won the Critics' Choice Award, got the SAG nomination, even opposite a bunch of lead actors. So he seems to be the supporting actor who has the most affection for him in the industry. So yeah, I'm going with Culkin.
Yeah, of the 8 nominees here, 7 of the shows start with an S, and the other is The Morning Show. And this actually helped me predict, I think it was picture editing, because we had 7 shows start with an S, and we had Euphoria. And I said, well, they're going to go with the E on this one. And I ended up being right. But I don't see that.
These will be alphabetical by actor, not necessarily by show. So
I don't think it'll happen this time. I don't think Billy will go 2 for 2 for the show. What do you think, Denton?
Yeah, I would be surprised if Billy went 2 for 2 for The Morning Show. It's just not a show that feels like it would have that kind of support. I'm going with Young-soo for Squid Game. I think he's the heart of the show and the episode. I think Squid Game could potentially go on a roll, and I see him going along for the ride. I would, because part of that is that I think Matthew McFadden could beat Kieran Culkin. So there's one thing to have multiple vote splits, but I think those 2 are actually closer and more harmful to each other than some of the others. I think Young-soo is clearly ahead of Park Hae-soo, and I think John Turturro is way out front of Christopher Walken. So I think John Turturro is actually a formidable threat in this category as well.
I would have loved if Christopher Walken could have been eligible for guest star. I think he would have won, but he was in too many episodes. So congrats that he even got nominated here. That was good for him. I think you could be right about Young-soo. I have him in second. I really want to get this one right.
I would love to see him win too, and just walk up on the stage. I mean, he's an adorable human being. So it would just be great to see that happen.
He won the Golden
77 years old.
Wow. He won the Golden Globe, but of course that wasn't televised. So we haven't seen him give a speech before. I would just love that. Okay, drama directing. We have Squid Game, Succession, three Successions, one Squid Game, one Severance, one Ozark, and one Yellow Jackets. I'm assuming we're going to talk about vote splitting here for Succession. Denton, I'll come to you first for drama directing. What do you have winning and why?
I have Squid Game, and I don't know if it's because of the vote splitting. I think, the red light, green light episode is just such an iconic episode. It's,
Mhm.
the images and imagery immediately come to mind of all of the shows when I think of that. Although I think there's an argument to be made for both Succession and Severance. I think any three of those could win. And part of me is wondering, like, am I being foolish to not just give Succession more? Like, there's real potential that Succession will just take these acting awards and writing and directing and series, and my score is going to explode. So that's what I'm worried about. But right now I have Squid Game, just because I think that episode stands out so much.
Yeah, the last 2 years we've seen huge sweeps for Schitt's Creek and for The Crown. And so are we going to see a sweep this year? Possibly we will, but it may be for Squid Game as opposed to Succession. Daniel, what do you think for directing?
I have Squid Game here, and I feel better about this after Creative Arts. Squid Game winning a lot of technical awards that seem to indicate that, sort of that contingent in the Academy is really behind it. And then you've got the 3 Succession episodes that could split the vote. Though I will say I am still wary of Succession because it got all 5 nominations at the Directors Guild Awards, which it's hard to overstate how much support that is relative to other dramas, that it's the only show they nominated. And it got all 5 slots. Obviously, vote splitting didn't matter because one of its episodes had to win. So, in this case, that's not the case. So I think red light, green light from Squid Game will have enough support to overtake the diluted Succession support, but I am not entirely confident in that. I think Succession could still win this. The way The Crown won it last year, even though it had multiple episodes up for directing. So we'll see, but I've got Squid Game.
Right. The Crown had 2 last year and 1 for the episode War. Succession had 2 in 2020 and 1 for the episode Hunting. And the Succession season 1 episode lost to Ozark, Jason Bateman, that iconic moment where I don't know if a lot of people were predicting that. I am going to go, everything you guys said about red light, green light is correct. And even if let's say Squid Game doesn't win series and doesn't win writing, the creator Ho-yeon was so visible during voting and before voting. He's done so many interviews with media, and I really want him to win something. I feel like this is maybe his best shot, but he could win, he could win lots on Emmy night.
Squid Game could win drama series. I mean,
yeah,
it could. Yeah. Now that I know that it wasn't even eligible for casting, I think it's a real horse race.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking. As soon as I realized it wasn't even eligible for casting, I was like, okay, this is closer than people are probably assuming.
Well, that takes us to drama writing. This will be the last category we'll talk about in this Slugfest. Ho-yeon is up for Squid Game, the episode One Lucky Day. There's also Better Call Saul, Ozark, Severance, Succession, and 2 from Yellow Jackets. Now, I believe Succession has won for the finale of season 1. Yes, season 1 finale won this for Jesse Armstrong. The season 2 finale won this for Jesse Armstrong. And now he's up for the season 3 finale. All the bells say, will he go 3 for 3? Daniel.
I think he will. Like, Succession feels like one of those Mad Men, Sopranos type shows that just keeps winning writing. So especially since it's so strong for best drama series, I think Squid Game, I don't think writing is where voters are going to go for it. I think Succession having this category all to one episode, no vote splitting here. I think Succession wins it pretty handily, but I'm not 100%. I would say I'm 80%.
Denton, what about you? I know you're a big Severance fan, and that is a very original show, and the writers branch usually likes originality.
It's original. It's a pilot. I have it in first place.
Okay.
Or it's not the pilot.
It's actually the finale.
The finale.
Yeah.
But it's the first season. And it's a fascinating episode. It is an original idea. But you know what? As we're talking, I feel like I'm about to switch back to Succession. As much as I want Severance to win, just the fact that Succession has won every year that it's been nominated so far, they have this category to themselves in terms of they're not competing against another episode. So I will probably switch to Succession because I'm a little scared of how much I'm underestimating Succession in my predictions so far. I had a really good creative arts prediction, and I feel like I have potential to really bomb hard this week on the prime time.
What was your
So may we
secret?
all.
What was your secret at the Creative Arts? Because you beat all the other editors. What did you do right?
I think I just went with my gut on a lot of these things. That's why, and sometimes that works for you, and sometimes it doesn't. I want to always be a little different than in some categories. So you don't want to go with the flow, or you're just going to end up in the middle where everyone wins. So usually what I do lands me in the top or the bottom. I'm rarely in the middle. I'm usually like one of the best or one of the worst, just based on just because I'm just competitive. So I really go for it every time, thinking I'm going to get first place, and that's how I roll.
I do want to give a shout out in this writing category to Better Call Saul. The episode was Plan and Execution. That was the mid-season finale. There was a huge character death. It's regarded as one of the best episodes of Better Call Saul history. And I mean, yes, I know the show is eligible at next year's Emmys because of these final 6 episodes. But while it's in there, I wonder how many voters decided, I'm going to vote for Better Call Saul here. If it won, I would be happy. I don't know if I would be surprised though, because it deserves it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, it's not How I Met Your Father, which is now a 2-time Emmy winner. So
there you go.
They got to step it up if they wanna match that level.
Well, thank you everyone for watching our drama Slugfest. As you can tell, we are very confused after the Creative Arts. I think Succession is still winning, but
I think maybe we should just stop thinking about the Creative Arts. Like maybe that's the big mistake. Maybe we're putting too much thought into it.
I do say I think this conversation helped me realize that Squid Game is in second, if not first. So we'll see how many changes I make in the next few days. But yeah, speaking of that, you can go and make your updated predictions right now at Gold Derby. A lot of people have already done it after the Creative Arts. We encourage you to get in there as well and make some updates and changes. What do you think is going to win? We'll find out on Monday, September 12th.